My uncle disappeared 20 years ago. Last week I found his truck. The engine was still warm. My name is Eric. I'm 31 years old. My story sounds like fiction, but I don't try to convince people anymore. I just tell it because I hope someone will hear it. Maybe, just maybe, someone will avoid what happened to me and to him. My Uncle Ron was a trucker, a real one. He lived off the roads, diesel, bad radio, and coffee that tasted like hot rubber. He visited us a few times a year, always bringing strange souvenirs and even stranger stories. Once he told me about a road that only opens to a few, about a motel you shouldn't enter twice, about hitchhikers with no faces, about a route that doesn't exist on any map. My mom said he was disturbed, but I listened. I believed him. In 2005, he disappeared, just vanished. A camera at a gas station in Nebraska caught his truck pulling in, but it never pulled out. There were no calls, no sightings, no leads. 1 year later, the police declared him missing, but I never gave up on him. Last week I got a call. I work at a tire shop. A farmer called and said there was an old semi-truck on the edge of his field. No plates, no driver, just sitting there like it arrived yesterday. Covered in dust, but with fresh tire tracks behind it. I went to see it. It was his truck. Same model, same faded Route 66 bumper sticker. Same dent above the right headlight. The cab was locked, but not tight. I opened the door and stepped in. Everything was just as I remembered. His pipe, a cassette labeled Highway Mix, a worn map, and the engine was still warm. I checked. It had clearly been turned off just minutes ago. It made no sense. It was dusty as hell, like it had been there for years. But the engine, it hummed with leftover heat, and the radio was on. It didn't play music. It played his voice. Eric, if you're hearing this, it means I didn't make it back, but the road's still open. It always finds the next one. I left you coordinates, but if you go, don't stop. Not for anything, not even for me, especially not for me. My hands shook as I wrote the numbers down. Something in me, I don't know what, made me go. I got behind the wheel. The engine started effortlessly. The cab was cold. The smell of diesel and dust thick in the air. As I drove, my phone lost signal. GPS stopped updating. I was off the grid in every sense. Eventually, I saw it, a rusted metal sign on the side of the road. Route 0. It wasn't on the map. It wasn't on the GPS. But the truck turned itself onto it, like it knew. The trees began to look wrong. They repeated. I saw the same oak tree at least 5 times, a crow on the same branch, same head tilt, and the air, it got heavy, thick, like I was underwater. I saw something on the side of the road, a motel, flickering neon. Motel, open, nothing else around, just empty fields in this ugly little building. I remembered his voice. If you see a motel with red neon, drive past. But I didn't. I stopped. The front door opened before I touched the handle. Inside, silence. Smelled like wet carpet and mildew. At the front desk sat a woman. Her skin looked dry and stretched, and her eyes, cloudy white. She didn't blink. Room 3, she said. She slid me a key. I walked to room 3. The wallpaper was green and peeling. The bed looked used. On the nightstand was a cassette tape. The label read, "If you're listening, it's already too late." I played it. I thought I could escape. I saw the exit. I reached it. But it resets. Every night, the same motel, the same road. I saw myself. He smiled. He's not me. If you can still leave, run. The TV turned on by itself. On the screen, me. But not me. My reflection had black eyes, pale skin. He stood in this room. I jumped up and ran. Back to the truck. Back to the road. Part 2. 3. I jumped into the truck and slammed the door shut. The engine roared to life again. The radio clicked on by itself. But this time, it wasn't Ron's voice. It was mine. "You're on the road now, Eric. It knows your name. Every sign is for you. Every detour leads back. And when you see yourself, don't stop, especially then." I floored the gas. The road in front of me was endless and pitch black. The headlights barely made a dent in the dark. My GPS was frozen. Phone, dead. Everything repeated. The same road sign, the same twisted tree, the same white deer in the bushes, blinking at me without moving. I saw a gas station in the distance and pulled in, desperate for some kind of answer. It looked exactly like the one from the surveillance footage. I stepped inside. A man stood behind the counter, tall. His skin looked like plastic stretched too tightly over a frame. His eyes didn't blink either. I asked for coffee. He handed me a cup I never saw him pour. "Your uncle paid the same way," he said. "What?" I froze. "He came through here a few times. They always come back." I backed out and ran to the door. When I turned around, the gas station was gone. Just an empty dirt lot. The radio now played music, a familiar melody, old, slow, without lyrics. One Ron used to hum when driving. I didn't know where it came from, but I let it play. It was the only thing that felt remotely real. Then, I started seeing myself. First in the mirror, just a glimpse. Then on the side of the road, a man dressed exactly like me, standing still, waving. I couldn't hear him, but I could read his lips. Stop. I didn't. I kept going. Later, the road split into two. One path was smooth and straight. The other, cracked, overgrown, barely a road at all. A rusted sign leaned near the nicer road. It read, "Not this way." So I turned onto the broken one. That's when everything changed. The light turned orange. The sky, stuck in twilight. The air, thick, buzzing like static. Behind me in the mirror, I saw myself again, walking now, step by step, slow, steady, never stopping. A second motel appeared, massive, rotting, like a beast trying to hide in plain sight. I parked. Something inside told me he was there. Ron. I opened the door. He sat on the bed. Ron, young, same flannel shirt, same hat. His eyes, tired but kind. I froze. "You came," he said. "What the hell is going on?" "We're on the route, the one with no beginning and no end. It picks people. First me, now you." "Why?" He looked down. "Because I stopped, and now you must not. If you ever want to leave, don't stop. Keep driving until you see yourself again. The real you. What happens if I stop? You become like me." He handed me a key, but it wasn't metal. It was black, heavy, matte, like stone. Carved into it, a symbol, a zero with a line through it. Oh. "Start it with this. If you see yourself again, the right one, don't be afraid. Let him in. Only two can leave. The one who stayed and the one who returns." He looked at me like a father sending his son to war. He didn't say goodbye. I stepped outside. The truck stood in the field waiting. I got in, inserted the black key. The engine didn't growl. It breathed. The lights turned on themselves. I drove. For what felt like hours, days, maybe weeks. The clock no longer worked. My hunger disappeared. I didn't blink. I didn't need to. I passed things on the roadside that weren't human. People with no mouths, dogs with too many eyes. A man waving, who had my face but no hands. And then, finally, I saw me. Part 3. The conclusion. I stopped the truck for the first time willingly. There he was, me. Same clothes, same scar on my left cheek. He stood there watching me. I stepped out. He approached and climbed into the passenger seat. "Finally," he said, "I thought you wouldn't stop." "Who are you?" I asked. "I'm you, the real you. The one who remembers Mom's name, the smell of Uncle Ron's jacket, how you broke your arm when you were 10. I'm the you who escaped the road." We drove together, but the truck began to tremble. The air inside thickened. In the rearview mirror, I saw another me, the one with black eyes. He was running behind the truck, closer at every turn. Then he vanished. I woke up, on the side of a normal road. The truck was parked. My phone had signal again. Gas tank empty. GPS showed I was somewhere in South Dakota. I don't know how I got there. I went home. Everything looked normal, but something had changed. I no longer saw myself in the mirror. I'm not visible in photos. Sometimes I catch people looking at me, like they remember something but can't recall. Friends say I laugh differently now. My eyes aren't quite right. Sometimes I hear a truck engine outside my window, but when I go out, there's no one there. I realize someone's still on the road, someone who didn't make it, someone I left behind, or maybe someone left me. Maybe I'm the one who stayed on Route Zero. Maybe this world is just another turn, another roadside, another reflection. I don't know anymore where I stopped.